Boys, welcome back to the channel. Take out an awesome video on deck. I want to break down, does cardio actually kill gains? Begin so many questions on this, and guys, this is something I've really been doing my entire life. I want to break down exactly how I go about it, kind of the misconceptions about it, and why you could use cardio and muscle building to unlock your dream physique. As you guys can see here, I'm someone who's played college soccer, or I recently played college soccer, played soccer my entire life, still been able to pack on muscle and still been able to look ripped. We got a full packed video today, guys. I want to break down everything you need to know to literally walk away with this, like a tailored solution that you guys could use to literally pack on muscle, look lean, look great, and to honestly enjoy the process. Because I feel like there's so many misconceptions. You only could do one or the other when that's really not the case. So guys, I want to break down exactly the common misconceptions. Does cardio burn away muscle while you try to build it? Why excessive cardio doesn't work, and a viable solution you guys can walk away with. As you guys can see here, I've been looking extremely ripped and playing soccer at the same time, so I kind of know the ins and outs of this process. You guys are going to get some really cool objectives I want you guys to essentially use and put it and essentially have in your pockets of how cardio can complement muscle building and not hinder it. How cardio can be complemented with your training plan to maximize results. This is really important because a lot of people only think you can only do either cardio or strength training, but you can actually do both and get insane results, and that's what you guys are going to really understand after this video. And of course, look leaner, gain muscle, speed up your recovery with a proven system. So guys, I've broken this video down to 6 core topics, everything you need to know in detail so you know exactly what to do. Again, guys, I use everything on myself, so I wouldn't say something I haven't done it my or been in your own shoes. So I'm gonna walk down exactly what works for me, why, how this is able to clean up a better image of how to go about both your cardio and packing on muscle and looking great at the same time, so you guys could do the same exact thing. We're gonna talk about the myths about cardio and muscle loss, the roles of essentially using cardio for fat loss versus muscle building, kind of the misconceptions of both, some stuff that I want you guys to really get a better understanding of, cardio's impact on recovery and the results it yields, best types of cardio for lean muscle gain, balancing cardio and weightlifting, and your proven system to use going forward. So awesome video, super packed, especially number 6, guys. Like, stay to the end. You're going to really get a system that works for you and have a better understanding about it. So further ado, let's get right into it. I'm super stoked about this one. All right, guys, so let's really just break down the myths about cardio and muscle loss, because I think this is just like some of the thoughts a lot of us have in our mind. Does cardio burn muscle instantly? So the thing is, like, guys, muscle loss occurs being in a calorie deficit, not from cardio itself. So if you're not, of course, eating in a calorie surplus, it's going to be hard for you to gain, or pack on muscle. Pretty self-explanatory, but again, the biggest misconception about this is people don't realize how many calories are burning through their exercise through cardio. And there's actually different types of cardio you could use to get different results, which is, something that I really didn't understand in the beginning of my journey, but clearing the system up is really going to give you a better understanding of it. Second thing is, you can't gain muscle while doing cardio. We all know that's false. If you don't, I'm going to break down exactly why it is. But the key things you have to really understand is, you need smart timing, essentially, and proper nutrition to go along with their cardio and strength training. Cardio can support muscle gain while keeping you lean. Again, this is the whole point of the process. You can still look ripped and strength train and do cardio and not feel like shit the entire time. Is HIIT the only cardio that works? Guys, there's another framework I want to break down. It's easier, it's effective, and it's just honestly muscle retention. That's the most important part, because we know when we do extended cardio, like running 14 miles, it's going to, reduce our muscle mass. It's going to, increase fatigue, and our body's going to feel shot. This is a completely different way to go about it. We're going to touch on this. And guys, our long run's great for shredding. Oh my God, this is like, because I had to do this for soccer. Obviously, one thing's better than the other, but we're going to talk about why long distance running depletes muscle mass if not balanced adequately with the recovery and nutrition. So as you guys know, I played college soccer and I did a lot of long distance running. But the thing was, there's simple or different frameworks you could use. Obviously, like when you run a lot, you're going to decrease your muscle mass. Obviously for soccer, I couldn't be as big as I am today because again, it's just, it just doesn't work. You need to be, fit, and putting on a lot of muscle mass kind of, contradicts that. So I want to talk about some of the different frameworks we need. This was back in my soccer days that I was, really, running more long distance, but I used a different framework back then, but predominantly now, I kind of want to break down exactly a different approach I've taken to kind of incorporate cardio now. Because again, if you're doing long distance running, this system's really not going to work the best. You can still look lean and ripped, but to really pack on continuous muscle, you can't really do your long distance running, because it's just, again, you're depleting on your energy. It's really hard for you to have the energy you need to strength train and pack on muscle. So we're going to touch everything about this. And then now I really want to touch in and give you just a better understanding of the role of cardio versus fat loss versus muscle building. First, so guys, the cardio for fat loss, it does burn calories at an expedited rate for your calorie deficit. That's true. But the problem is when we rely on it so much, it's going to not only ruin our correlation with fitness and just make the process miserable, but again, it's just going to deplete our energy levels, which makes the process kind of suck because then we can't really pack on muscle the right way. But again, for cardio, for fat loss, again, it's going to help you burn more calories and it's going to work alongside strength training to keep fat off. Yes, it's going to work like that, but we're doing it to pack on lean muscle. So we need different ways to go about it. So of course we need to maintain our calorie surplus, calories in versus calories out. I'm going to touch on this and break this down. We're going to need the right forms of cardio to complement our muscle gain. So again, there's different forms of cardio. As I mentioned, we have long distance running, there's HIIT, it's different stuff like this that we use towards our advantage. And we essentially know that cardio doesn't kill gains, but we need the proper timing and type of cardio to do it. So again, another point we're going to go into a lot more detail. This is just a brief overview right now. And now let's get into the bread and butter. So guys, let's talk about calories in versus calories out, the foundation of our muscle growth. So we really need to understand is that, like, guys, our BMR and what we burn in a day, we need to make sure we're in a calorie surplus, which seems pretty self-explanatory, but I just kind of want to hit the nail on the head right here. So this is an example. So maybe our BMR is at 1800 calories. So what does our body need to, proper function, essentially blood circulation, all that good stuff. We have that calculated at 1800. And if you guys don't know how to essentially calculate this, I created an entire video breaking down your BMR, your TDE, how to get yourself in essentially, a muscle building framework from your calories itself. So I'm going to link that video down below that breaks down this in like crucial detail because I know that's something I extremely struggle with, and touching on that's going to just really make this so much clearer. But for this example right here, 1800 is our BMR. We're doing resistance training, so that's another 300 calories we're burning. Cardio 250, and then general activity like walking and other stuff is 400. So this gives us a grand total of 2750 we need to be at. But again, remember, we need to be in a calorie surplus, and especially for lean muscle gain, guys, we need to be 200 to 300 calories over. And guys, the reason I was able to stay this lean was because I was doing a lean bulk and I was doing, lean aesthetic frameworks. If you want to do a standard bulk, then you're going to be anywhere from a 500 to 1,000 calorie surplus, which is going to make you look bulky. You're going to get limited results, and it's honestly just not worth their time. So please, please, please make sure we're in a 200 to 300 calorie surplus, as I mentioned right here, which then put us at a grand total of 2950 to 3050 to build in a lean muscle. And guys, again, in that video, I break down the lean aesthetic framework, why that solution is the solution you should be doing and not a standard bodybuilding approach, which only makes you honestly look fat, and it's just an outdated system. So now let's go into the second point of how cardio actually impacts our recovery. So potential interference. So we have to look at it like this. Like, guys, when we're doing so much cardio, it's not only going to interfere with our muscle recovery, but it's going to deplete our energy levels, and we're not going to have enough energy for our strength training. As you guys can see, it's going to, excessive cardio interferes with our muscle recovery because our body's so fatigued and it's so shot. There's so much, activity going on with our body that essentially it's going to be hard to really use that energy for strength training. We have to make sure it's a holistic approach. We can't do only one and not the other. We need to balance it both, and I'm going to break down in a crucial detail later in this video on why that's so important. Again, it's going to lead to a poor performance in strength training, and it's going to give us the inability to pack on muscle and size due to our fatigue, because high intensity training, guys, is so much exhaustion on the body where it's not going to allow you to do it. That's why we're going to incorporate different types of cardio to do this a more effective approach. Another big thing with recovery is our cardio timing. So we need to make sure that, guys, when we're doing, cardio types or, the essential cardio timing of this, we need to make sure we're avoiding, intense cardio all the time. If we're doing, HIIT workouts every single day, yeah, it's going to be hard for you to pack on muscle because your body's going to be so depleted. But another way we can go about this is thinking about like, okay, how can we maximize both strength training and cardio? Maybe we put them on separate days. Maybe we don't do it right before a lift, because if we run 14 miles before our lift or we do some type of cardio, it's going to be really hard for us to essentially have the energy we need. So as I mentioned right here, we're going to be avoiding intense cardio prior to our lifting, and we're going to be separating our cardio on days we're not doing it. So maybe, you're doing like an upper and lower body split. That's 4 days a week. And then the other 2 days you're doing your HIIT workouts. Or you could separate 6 to 8 hours a day. Just make sure you have enough energy and you're not depleted. Inflammation, recovery load. So guys, again, too much cardio, excessive inflammation, more fatigue. It's, again, the more cardio you do, guys, you have to make sure you recover right. And if you're not recovering, that's essentially going to make it more, problematic on your body, because you're not giving yourself the essential tools to essentially win. And that's why it's so important to make sure we always prioritize our recovery, especially when we're doing cardio, or we use the right frameworks, which we're going to go into more detail as we start to progress. Again, more cardio we do leads to slower muscle recovery, which impairs our results. And the goal for this, guys, is to choose cardio that matches your recovery capacity. So basically, we have this list framework I'm going to break down. I believe it's in the next slide. And the other one is an active recovery, so maybe hitting your daily step count, which also acts as a form of cardio, but it's not so much energy in our body, which it's honestly like a better way to go about it, because if we look at daily step count, it's no high intensity cardio on our body. It's, not going to take away from our strength training gains, and it's going to make sure it's sustainable. We can do this every single day and enjoy the process and get cardio inside of it. So when we talk about this, guys, now I want to essentially break down the best types of cardio for lean muscle gain. So as I mentioned, we have the list, we have our HIIT, and we have active recovery methods. So these are 3 different cardio frameworks that we could use instead of our long distance running, because what long distance running essentially does, it leads to muscle breakdown and calorie deficits, which are then extended, and it makes us too much, or have essentially too much fatigue, which then takes away from our strength training. So guys, the first part I really want to touch down is this list, which is low intensity steady state. So what this says, essentially, it burns fat without negatively affecting muscle recovery. So again, this is stuff like daily step count, walking, swimming, stuff that's really not too much pressure in your body, but still getting you active. It's still, making sure that we're doing cardio in a different form, which is really cool. The reason this works a lot better than long distance running is because when you do long distance running, guys, it's going to lead to muscle breakdown. You're going to be in severe calorie deficits, and your body's going to be shot. That's the most important thing. With this, there's not much pressure in your body, so you can essentially do your daily step count and go and do a nice training session the same day and get the maximum amount of effort to strength train. Meanwhile, when you do long distance, you're not going to be able to run 14 miles a day and then get an effective strength training. You're going to be depleted, you're going to be tired, and you're going to have a lot of fatigue. So this is really good. So think about hitting daily 10K step count is a really good way. Another one is high intensity interval training, HIIT. So this is really good, but the biggest thing with this is, guys, you need to make sure you're not doing it on the same days. If you are doing the same days, we talked about doing it in 6 to 8 hours later. I put in a note previously, but do it on days you're not doing your strength training. So maybe, I actually have an example. I broke this down, but I'm going to just go to it right here because it kind of touches it. So maybe for a sample training week, we have a 4-day upper lower body split and 2 days HIIT. As I mentioned, upper body, lower body, that's 2 sessions, 3, 4. And our HIIT is 1 session, 2 session, 20 to 30 minutes. And then we have our 10K step count, which is, again, we could be used every single day because it's not that much pressure in our body. And it's giving us a different form of cardio. So this is how we integrate cardio and strength training to make sure we stay lean and aesthetic, and we also get maximizing results. So this is just an example on how you could do it effectively. We have our list, which is the 10K step count. We have our strength training. And then we also have another form of cardio, which is our HIIT sessions 2 days per week. You see how this is more of a holistic approach and everything's coming together at once? It's making it so it's easier in our bodies. And again, we talked about, 10K step count, our HIIT, which is, again, high intensity interval training. I'm sure everyone's aware, which is basically it's 20 to 30 minutes. You're really, it's just, it's a lot. Essentially, the way I look at HIIT is essentially you look at it high interval training. So maybe you're doing sprints, maybe you're doing mountain runs, whatever it is. Honestly, it's enjoyable. It's just a new way to go about it. I enjoy HIIT, workouts. Maybe you're doing circuit exercises, whatever it is. Nothing too crazy. Like if you guys don't enjoy it, don't do it. You could use the lists and also incorporate that to your day. So maybe you're doing a push-pull leg split, which is 6 days a week, and then 10K step count every single day. And then what we could also do is essentially through an active recovery. Helps maintain our blood flow, reduce soreness, less stress in the body. This is like yoga and stretching. Really just honestly, like obviously it's not the main type of cardio like everyone looks at, but active recovery can go into, you can even throw swimming in there. Walking is just another good way to go about it, but this could be more for swimming if you want to throw that in. And it's a good way to kind of make sure we're not getting too much fatigue on our body, but also getting some cardio activities in on ourselves. And again, guys, I always touch on long distance running doesn't really work with this model because it's going to make us more fatigued. It's going to deplete our energy levels and it's going to be really hard to do it. If you want to do it, you could essentially train 3 to 4 days a week and then on the weekends do long, maybe you want to do some long distance running. The only problem is just make sure you're staying in a calorie surplus and not a calorie deficit because it's going to be really hard. And guys, the more running you do, it's going to take away from your muscle mass at some points, just depending on how your macros are. So just please keep that in mind because that's the problem I have with soccer. And now I want to break down balancing cardio and weightlifting with the results. So guys, our top priority, of course, when we're doing this is to always make sure we're strength training. Cardio does not replace strength training, but it's a holistic approach. So if we look at it from the perspective that strength training is our main focus for muscle gain and cardio should be a supplementary, not to interfere with it, but to add it as like something that we could throw on top, like sprinkles on top for cupcake, because you want to do both. You don't want to just get bulky. You want to, enjoy cardio. And this is a good way to go about it. Again, we talked about our list or daily step count. Maybe you want to do less, maybe you want to do swimming activities, which is not too much pressure on our body, or we want to throw in HIIT. 3 different exercise or 3 different cardio types that works with us to make sure we still pack on muscle and still look lean. An effective weekly balance could be, limiting cardio to 2 to 4 sessions per week. As I mentioned, this is our HIIT. And then the most important part about this, guys, is understanding sustainability and lifestyle to sustain growth. Whatever you do, make sure you enjoy the process because if you're not enjoying the process, it makes it miserable. Like if you don't enjoy HIIT, don't do it. If you don't enjoy doing 10K step count, which honestly I think everyone should, it's really not that much work. It's not too much pressure on your body, but do stuff that you actually enjoy. Same thing with your strength training. If you're going 6 days a week and it's too much, switch to a 4-day split, maybe an upper and lower body. 4 days too much, try a 3-day, which is a full body split. Whatever it is, just make sure it's sustainable because guys, fitness is all about sustainability and longevity. The more you do that, the more you're going to win, the more you're going to get compounding results. And guys, this is just a sign that you're doing too much cardio because I remember going through this. My strength levels would decrease, excessive soreness, and long recovery times. Again, extended fatigue and loss of appetite. Again, this stuff just happens. It's just like you have to understand your body and how it works because if you're not getting these signs, you're not really, using them to like the best of your abilities. Like what I mean by use them is just like your body's telling you you're shot and you're still doing it. It's only going to impair your results and it's just going to make it, really strenuous on your body, but really unenjoyable. So always listen to your body. If you're doing too much, maybe this split is too much in your body, cut it down. Maybe do a full body, which is 3 days, and then HIIT 2 days, which is 2 days recovery. So have an extra recovery day. Whatever it is. But guys, this is just a sample training week of a holistic approach to pack on muscle, pack on size, and to honestly do cardio and strength train. This is just one of many examples, guys. You can get creative with this. So you could do your PPL, an Arnold split, a full body. You don't have to do your 10K step count. Maybe you want to do, HIIT 3 days a week. Get creative with it. Again, just leverage sustainability and stuff that works for you. And then guys, reasons this is just kind of put the cherry on top is that the reasons you're actually going to look leaner while packing muscle on is because you're going to be burning these extra, these extra calories that you're stacking. Again, you always want to make sure you're in a calorie surplus, but what actually happens is less of your calories get in a surplus that turns into, so less of your calories are in a surplus, which turns into fat gain. So what I mean by this is like when you're in, 200 to 300 calories over, you're not really getting excess fat. As you guys can see here, you're not going to have too much of a calorie surplus compared to your 500 to 1,000 calories. So not many calories are going to be turned to fat. It's going to, give you the ability to obviously look leaner, but you're not getting that excess fat gain, which is not going to go in your cheeks or your love handles or your stomach. It's another way to look about it. It's going to help your body use foods better. Again, more of the carbs and your calories you go are going to be to muscle and not fat gain. This is just, really correlating that You know, a lot when, again, as I mentioned, I kind of touched on this point in this other video, but like when you're over your calories so much, you only could use that calorie so much for muscle gain. The leftover calories are going to be used for fat. And this is saying like basically like if we burn our calories and we make sure we're not too much in a surplus, we're going to be using that towards muscle gain. So honestly, like this is kind of just like, you know, just saying that like if you're over too much, it's going to be turned to fat gain. But I'm sure you guys get the point. You know what I'm saying. Again, more of the we just touched on this point, and it's going to keep our metabolism active, as I mentioned, so prevents fat from building up while you're eating more to grow. So again, guys, just that's why the daily step count I think is really good. It's a good form of cardio to use, and if we could do that, it's going to again keep our metabolism active. And again, keeps your body moving, burning your calories throughout the day. Even small activities like your daily steps make you look more leaner and defined. As I mentioned, guys, do stuff that you generally enjoy. But this is just, you know, the over bird's view viewpoint on why this is so effective and why, like, it's honestly a more reasonable approach that most people choose if you want to look lean and ripped at the same time and not too bulky. And again, guys, a viable training solution for you. As I mentioned, here's your go-to. I kind of put this in like, you know, basically a synopsis, but moderation is key, guys. I think this is one of the best ways to go about it is hitting your daily step count and having a hit maybe 2 to 3 times per week, even 3, and correlating it with the training split. Again, we have 3 days, which is a full body, 4 days, maybe an upper and lower, and 5 or 6 days, maybe a PPL or Arnold split. We're going to be prioritizing our strength training. As I mentioned earlier, our strength training should be first and our cardio should be second. We cannot just rely on cardio because then it's going to be hard to pack on muscle. So please look at that and always make sure we're in a calorie surplus from 2 to 300 calories, depending on what we're burning in the day. Again, 2 foundational frameworks of muscle hypertrophy, progressive overload. Again, the ability to pack on muscle continuously and to get stronger over time. Proper nutrition, guys. So we're going to be talking to that protein intake, 1 gram per pound of body weight. It's going to be retaining our muscle mass and to making sure we're effectively not only building muscle, but to making sure that we're doing everything in regards to our nutrition standpoint to make sure we can optimize results for success. Strategic cardio placement, sustainability and longevity. This is the important thing about it. You know, maybe you want to do your cardio days, your HIIT days on absent training days, or, you know, not prior to your lift. So don't do a HIIT workout right before your strength training. It's going to impede the results and it's not going to honestly, you know, you're not going to get the most out of it. Look for a 6 to 8 hour window or look on some of your off days of your strength training. Most importantly, guys, listen to your body. It's a marathon, not a race. Recovery enhances our results, not diminish it. So guys, this is just an overview framework again, but again, use all parts of this, you know, system that I kind of laid out here. This just gives you a better understanding that there's so many misconceptions thinking that you only could do cardio or you could only do strength training. You could do both. Just make sure you make it around your lifestyle and enjoy sustainability. Because when I was playing soccer, obviously this framework was a little different because I had to run, you know, a lot all day, which then, you know, kind of like impede my results. But not playing soccer anymore, I use these frameworks right now, which is hitting my daily 10K step count. I do some HIIT workouts on my off days, and I also do my strength training on the days that I'm doing it. So right now I'm doing a PPL, and then 1 or 2 days I'll do a HIIT workout, but I also make sure to spread it out. And I'm also doing my step count. So again, guys, this is how I've been able to get some awesome results. I'm, you know, currently in a lean bulk, as you guys know, in the IG, like I, you know, show you guys everything is that like, this is me doing it from 165 to 180 and just still getting insane results. So this stuff works, guys. This stuff gets you insane, you know, not only I think like results wise, but you enjoy a better fitness oriented lifestyle doing both cardio, not strength training, not just looking like, you know, a traditional bodybuilder that doesn't give you the essential results you want, because you're going to look fluffy, you're going to look fat, and it's just not the way to do it. It's outdated systems, and why use an outdated system when this stuff works, as you guys know. So, guys, I hope I answered most of your questions on this. I put a lot of time into it, so because it means so much stuff on like how I've been able to do this and what's an effective approach. So, guys, if you have any questions or comments that you want in-depth explanation on, you kind of want to, you know, some of the stuff you really liked, shoot me a comment down below and just really let me know. And again, guys, thanks for giving me your time. I know your time is very precious, but I hope you boys get something out of this that you could take and really implement into your training. sessions, strategies, your plan, whatever it is. But guys, this stuff works. It gets you insane results. Just make sure you sustain around your lifestyle and you do the stuff you enjoy. It's the most important part about this entire process. So that's all I got for today. I'm running. My voice is kind of shot, but I hope I gave you everything you guys need. And let's get to work. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.